Howdy. Yeah, I know this is not really a cowboy hat, but you use what you have. So yeah, guys, we are at the end of the first season of The Mandalorian. It's been a fun ride. I know I haven't talked about every episode. I have like 2 reviews of the first 2 episodes up from, weeks, months. I don't know how long I've been doing this. I've been trying. I lost track of time. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, so we are at the finale, and my God, it was sweet. Now, kind of let you know ahead of time, since I didn't talk about every episode this season, I might get a brief review of the season as a whole later on, but for now I want to kind of talk about this episode, because this episode, I think, is a very satisfying finale to this season at least. As you might remember last episode, the Mandalorian and his crew, they kind of cornered, in this little cantina where, the Imperials have them trapped, and it seems that Baby Yoda is captured. They killed Mr. I have spoken, which was a bummer. It's confirmed that he's dead. They killed him. And you think that the episode would open on something very somber, very oh, this is serious. But we open with those 2 stormtroopers that, killed, old I have spoken and captured Baby Yoda. We open with them having this casual conversation, and it's meant to be very hilarious. It is hilarious. They're just chatting it up, talking about, how their boss, the Moth is just, very, very mean and very, very, no nonsense, and he'll just kill somebody for talking over him. It's actually this really funny bit where, they call it in. They keep checking, hey, are we allowed to come in yet? And they just keep telling them, nah, he just killed another person, for interrupting him. I think it's really funny because it's just a cliche bad guy thing. What would the henchmen be saying in their off time when they're not in front of the boss? I feel like this is what they would do. But then you remember, hey, these are the guys that killed off one of my favorite characters. Screw those guys. And IG-11 would agree with you. He just comes in saying, I need the baby. And they're like, no, you can't have the baby. And he's like, well, screw you. And he kills him viciously, which I think probably satisfies our bloodlust that we built up from last time. But unfortunately, the Mandalorian and his crew, they're still trapped in this little cantina place, and they don't know a way out. And the Imperials that set up this big old, minigun on the outside that they're about to just tear the place up with. And here comes old IG-11. You thinking that he's gonna go back to the ship with the baby like the original plan was, and, get him off world, save him. But no, he just comes in like a one robot Riders of Rohan and just decimates a good portion of the stormtroopers. My God, he's a beast. I mean, you knew he was a beast from the first episode, but this man is a beast. And funny because, he's Taika Waititi. So, IG-11's tearing stuff up, and Mandalorian's like, hey, I'm the main character of the show. I can't let this robot show me up. So he comes out, and he's all awesome, comes out, turns the corner, pam, no one could take him down. And then Apollo Creed's like, hey, I need to get in this too. I'm a people's champ. So he's out there too, and Gina Carano's all like, well, I'm here too, and I'm awesome, so I'm gonna just shoot from over here. It's this awesome scene, but of course they get overwhelmed, the Moth, Gus Fring comes back. And he's all like, well, I'm awesome too. I need to get into this too. Los Pollos Hermanos. And he shoots the Mandalorian once, then shoots a little power reactor and blowing him back, mortally wounding him. So it looks like it's not good for Mandalorian. Which I have to say, I, for a second, honestly believed that this was going to be the end of the Mandalorian. Now, I had heard that there was going to be a season 2, so I should have inferred from that, yeah, he's not going to die here. But, I mean, The Mandalorian is just a creed. It's just a title, They could have easily go, hey, we're just going to follow another Mandalorian next season, and this is just the end of this Mandalorian, He succeeded in protecting the baby, they'll sneak him out while he covers them, and it's all good, I think I've been okay with that. But no. IG-11's like, I'm going to save him, take the baby, I'll take care of him, because he's programmed to, protect and take care of people now. Which, let's talk about this scene, because I actually really dug this scene way more than I thought I would. Because it's this scene, the Mandalorian, he's laying down, he's gushing blood out the back of his head. And the only person that can save him is IG-11. Now, throughout the series, you see the Mandalorian, he hates droids. And you understand why, because when he was a kid, droids came in, battle droids, grant you, but droids, you know, they came in and killed his family. And the only thing that came and protected him were the Mandalorians. When this droid, his only salvation shows up, and the only way for this droid to save him is to take off his helmet, it's kind of this really poetic moment that the thing that he used for protection, the thing that, you know, it gives him strength, has to be ripped away by the thing that he hates the most in order to save his life. I think it's really a very powerful scene. You know, Dave Filoni knows what he's doing. And, you know, it kind of also, it's kind of one of those loophole things within the code, I guess, because Mandalorian says, you know, no living thing can see my face, but, you know, IG-11's like, well, I'm not living, so, you know, whatever, screw the code. So IG-11 goes ahead, takes off his helmet, and, you know, you see it, his face, all in his Game of Thrones glory. And he sprays some magical, futuristic healing juice on it. You know, it's all better. You'd be great in an hour, you know? Call me in the morning. And they head down to this tunnel that they made to escape and meet up with everybody else. So it looks like it's all good. And they planned on meeting up with the other Mandalorians down this tunnel from, you know, episode 1. But it turns out the Imperials got to them at some point, and there doesn't seem to be any left. Except for the main forage lady Mandalorian. She's still there, and she's kind of picking up the pieces and melting down their armor to make more Beskar. And she sees that he has this baby, and she's like, oh, this is the thing that you know, cause all this trouble over, you know? Well, it's now your responsibility to take care of it. You need to raise it, take care of it, until you can find out where it belongs. So she gives him this task. He's like, yep, this is the way. And she gives him his signet, which is the Mudhorn still, which I guess she gives to him because even though it was technically with an assist from Baby Yoda, she says that, you know, they're a clan of 2 now, so I guess it's like, you know, still counts. I thought the whole Mudhorn as a signet thing would be kind of stupid. I'm like, really, a Mudhorn, you know? That kind of looks stupid. But, you know, as a, you know, carving, it actually kind of looks cool. I honestly would not mind having that. But she gives him directions to get out, but she decides to stay behind, in which she waits for these Imperial troopers to show up, and she just whoops their tail with her forging tools, smashes one's face open, throws one in her forge, completely melting them. Like, you don't see him turn to goop, but his body goes in, and then it just sinks and is gone. So I assume that he's just a puddle of, you know, goo and bone. And she survives. Like, you don't see her get shot or anything or captured, so she's probably going to show back up in season 2 at some point, and that's awesome. Make it to the end of their tunnel that they're going to, but there's Imperials waiting for them. They won't be able to survive this many troopers. So IG-11's all like, well, guess I need to go out. He reminds us he still has that self-destruct feature, so he plans on doing that to clear a path so, you know, they can get away. Which I thought this scene was a little bit corny, I guess, like, because, you know, the Mandalorian pretty much just detests this guy for most of, you know, their whole time together. But suddenly, after this moment they had a little bit back, it seems like he's just really, like, in love with him. Like, he's all like, IG-11, no, you can't die, there must be another way, you can't. Like, I get it, he's warming up to him, but, you know, it just feels a little bit kind of much. I mean, it's not bad, you know, it's not like it's a horrible act or anything, it seemed a little bit funny. I mean, IG-11 points out that he's sad, you know, saying the inflections in his voice tell him that he's sad, but that's whatever. It's still cool. Still a cool moment because you finally see what it looks like when he blows up. So he steps into like this lava river that they're like, you know, floating on, and, you know, straight out of Terminator 2. I expected him to put up his thumb and just go out like that, but he doesn't do that. He makes it to the end of the tunnel and just says, you know, my manufacturing protocol says I cannot be captured, must self-destruct, blows himself up, and all the stormtroopers at the end of the tunnel. Which, my gosh, I mean, this explosion, like, if it would have went off in the first episode, we would have no more episodes of Mandalorian, for real. Like, it's so big. Like, when the manufacturers made him, they should have not just said, hey, you can't be captured, you'll self-destruct. They should have said, I cannot be captured, must self-destruct, and screw you. because that's what he does to all the stormtroopers in the area. Like, it's such a big explosion. Like, it's unnecessarily big. Like, if the whole idea is just he can't be captured, so he'll self-destruct, so they can't get him. Like, you don't think you need to like wipe out like a whole block to do it, but you know, it serves for the plot, I guess, and it's a cool moment. So, you know, it's not that bad. It's not that distracting. I just thought it's a necessary big explosion. But they still have to deal with Gus Fring up there in his spaceship. He's coming through and shooting at them. So Mandalorian is like, well, I got my new shiny jetpack. I'm just gonna fly up there and take him down. So he does it. Gus Fring's ship crashes down. Looks like everything's good. Apollo Creed and Gina Carano is all like, hey, everything's cool here. Looks like we killed all the stormtroopers, I guess. We're gonna stick around, make sure everything's good. You want to join us? But Mandalorian, you know, he has his mission. He has to, you know, take care of the baby and get him to where he needs to go. So he takes the baby back to his ship. They fly off. You know, they bury Mr., you know, I have spoken. That's sweet and everything. But it turns out Gus Fring, with all his, you know, Los Pollos Hermanos glory, is still alive. But not only that, he cuts himself out of his wrecked spaceship with the black saber, which I don't know everything about the black saber, but I know it has a lot of connection between the old wars between the Jedi and the Mandalorians, and how the Mandalorians took it from one of the Jedi temples, and it's been like an artifact amongst Mandalorians for a long time since then. So it makes sense why, you know, the Moth would have it. You know, he raided the Mandalorian temples back in the day. You know, he probably took that as one of his prizes. So that means he's going to be in season 2. Overall, this has been a really great season. I mean, I heard a lot of people complain about some of the episodes seem like filler, but for me, I always assumed that this show is meant to be like this adventure western where you just follow the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, and, you know, see their journey and how they build on their relationship with each other. I mean, that's how I always took it, at least. For the most part, all the episodes were pretty solid. They seemed like a western in space with all its glory, and it ended in a very satisfying way that makes me excited for season 2. Now I just got to figure out what else I'm going to watch on Disney Plus until season 2 comes out. I mean, I know Disney Plus is kind of made for you to kind of nostalgia out and watch all your old favorites, which I probably will do at some point, but I also need some new substance stuff, you know. I mean, I don't know, I'll figure it out. It's not like I'm paying for an account. It's a gift from a friend. Thank you, Stephanie. So guys, that was Mandalorian. So, you know, let me know what you guys thought of this season. Did you like it? Did you not like it? You know, what was your most favorite part? And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboy. Which, this scene, I actually dug this scene way more than I thought I would. Yes.
The enchiladas down there. Oh, you're doing something?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'll
I'll just edit it out.
You need to make you a sign.
Okay. I'll add you to the bloopers.